I have a story that I will never forget, one that still sends chills down my spine every time I think about it. It all started when my family and I moved to a small, quiet town. One day while we were browsing an estate sale, we found this beautiful antique mirror. It was unlike anything we had ever seen. A heavy, ornate frame with intricate carvings that seemed almost, "It is alive." There was something magnetic about it, something that drew me in the moment I saw it. We bought it, and I still remember hanging it up proudly in the hallway just where the light hit the surface, just so. Everything seemed just about normal for a while. The mirror seemed to add a certain elegance to the house. After all, it was one of those pieces of old furniture. Boy, was I wrong, however. It did not take very long before some weird things began to happen. It started when I began to hear whispers at night when the house was quiet. Soft, barely audible whispers, like someone was talking just out of reach. At first I thought it was my imagination, but then I started hearing footsteps. Slowly at first, then louder, as if someone was walking down the hallway right outside my door. I would jump up only to find no one there. The house would be silent once more, but the air felt off. It was my little sister Lucy who first noticed something really terrifying. She was always curious and brave, but one evening she froze in front of the mirror. I remember rushing over, asking her what was wrong. She looked pale, almost ghostly, and her eyes were wide with fear. She told me that she saw in the mirror a shadow standing behind her. But turning around, she found no one there. No one. She simply stopped using that hallway. And that was the worst of it. She changed in behavior from then on over the next few days. She talks to herself sometimes, saying words I cannot even understand, and she does not sleep in her room anymore. All of us are on edge but didn't know what to do. One night things came to a head. We were in the living room, my sister and I, trying to ignore all those strange happenings around us, when we heard a loud crash. My heart skipped a beat. We ran towards the hallway, and that's when we saw it, the mirror broken into pieces on the floor. Now, for that moment, the house seemed to stop breathing, stuck in time. But there wasn't anyone about. The murmurs ceased. The footsteps also ceased. But Lucy, she wasn't the same. Her eyes were hollow, as if some part of her was taken away. And one night she told us everything. That figure in the mirror has been talking to her. It's not just a shadow, it's a warning. She says it told her that something terrible is coming, something that could be stopped only by the destruction of the mirror. We could not ignore it anymore. We threw the mirror away, hoping that would end the nightmare. But we never heard of its fate. Some say the mirror is still out there waiting for another person to find it. Others believe the figure still lingers, watching, waiting for the next person to look too long. I don't know what happened to the mirror. Honestly, I don't care to. What I do know is that some things never ought to be touched. Some things should not find their way into your house. And as for that mirror, I leave the darkness to your imagination, what it carried and so much more. Just remember this: if you ever find a mirror that draws you and like that, don't look too closely.